discussion because they need to be heard. It need to be had and it need to be heard. You know? But
That's alive, I think.
I was holding it together barely. So now it's like, all right, well,
Alive.
There you go. They just fall off of that.
It's not.
small complication, but it took me off.
You're alive.
Oh, okay.
We live right now?
We live right now.
Shit.
Yes,
Sorry.
indeed. I apologize.
Are we doing music right now?
Yeah, we're gonna do music in a second. We're gonna drop
Okay.
a few gems on this situation, a few Jews back south, back home. I got my brother Travis on. We talking about the mental health dealing in the black community. You know what I'm saying? I know you were speaking about something earlier with my brother James. You know, he was on earlier. I want you to pick back up on that situation what you was talking about.
Well, basically, I feel like to a certain degree, mental health in the black community is treated much like everything else in the black community. It's all shaped and molded by our experiences or the black community. I'm speaking from the perspective of the black community in this nation, the so-called black community in this so-called nation, and that experience can be duplicated in different forms in other places. It is duplicated in different forms in other places all over the globe, actually. But for us here, a lot of the ways in which we process information is molded by slavery.
Mm.
And it's a strong point, but it's a valid and a necessary point to make, because whether or not we want to talk about it, that is important and essential in order to even discuss the American experience of Africans. You know what I'm saying? Like, we here
Okay.
on this continent, no matter whatever your theory may be about how or when we came here, we here, and we are not the originators of this spot. Not to say that nobody else is. We were some of the first documented being here. That's my position. And a lot of the people that we call indigenous was a lot of us. That's my position. But for the vast majority of mainstream black culture in America, we treat mental health as if it's like herpes or something. Like, we don't want to discuss it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to have it. We don't want to spread it. Like, you know what I'm saying? We treat it as if it's the plague, because we don't want to air out that dirty laundry within ourselves and within our families. Like, we don't want to. Your mama will tell you every day, don't discuss family business with the public. So it's like we treat it like that. Like, it's this little dirty, little shame, little secret, but it's not. It's not like that. Like, your car fucked up, you're gonna take it to a mechanic. Something is wrong in your house, you're gonna call a contractor. Even if your car or your house, you end up doing it yourself.
Right.
Because you figure out when they tell you what's wrong, how to fix it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What my cousin will tell you, and what I believe is true, is that it's different when it comes to the mind, because that's the most important thing you got. You can replace a house and a car. You can't replace your mind. You only got one. And because of that, you need to take any and every precaution to make sure that your mind is in tip-top functioning shape.
Okay.
And that's what I feel like therapy does. And I think we treat it has such a stigma surrounding it, that we treat it a certain way in the black community that we shouldn't treat it, because all you really saying is, I'm limiting your ability to be your best whole self.
Okay.
And that's bad acts.
Okay. You want to respond to that, my brother?
I mean, I look at it like, okay, he said that
It's our brother Travis here. New guest.
said that if your car broke or your house need fixed or to a professional. Okay, so the same way that they get their answer is the same way that you can get the answer. All I'm saying is that'll be easier to go to somebody else and do the hard work for you, or you can do it yourself. And anything that you can that's wrong with you or anything around you in your circle, anything around it, you have the power to fix. You know what I'm saying? It ain't you can't rely on somebody else for your especially your mental health, but for anything. Because what one thing for sure and two things for certain is people will let you down. So you know what I'm saying? You gotta work that out yourself. Flat out.
Nah, hey. It's one thing I can't say about the good book, since everybody, they say people are made to man and made to let you down. But the key is to that is, excuse me now. The key is to that is, a man can only, or a woman can only lead you to the caretaker. The caretaker will take you in and take care of you and guide you the rest of the way. If they can't deliver you to the caretaker, then you sure will crash, because you'll be on a wide path instead of a narrow path. If anybody want to add anything to that, have anything they want to say?
So I want to say something.
Go ahead, my brother.
And so it's because of what it's the Black Girl Magic. I need to keep that in my space.
Already.
I need Black Girl Magic in my space.
Already.
You know what I'm saying?
We can't get no Black Girl Magic.
Yeah,
I'm
That's
trying.
Yeah,
Look, I need Black Girl Magic in my life. So
that's
That's
right.
another
That's
topic.
right. That's
that's
another
another
topic. But
topic.
that's a real topic.
That's a
though.
real topic.
That's a real topic now.
Not to anybody that want to go do anything else, if that's fine. If you want
That's
some other
great
kind
now,
of magic
but,
or some whatever, that ain't the kind of magic I'm looking for. But so listen.
See, that's marvelous now.
So could say, yeah, it's important. Yeah, supposed to spend that extra time on it, but nah, you gotta go to nobody else, because everything you need to handle this is right here within you, and you can do it. He also say, yeah, it might be easier. Not to say that that's my main focus, but that is unequivocally a big factor in the way I conceptualize. Because when I say easier, I'm not even talking about on the way I feel about it, per se.
Okay.
It's more so about at this point in my life, anything that I'm discussing with myself or deciding within myself is all about cost benefit analysis. So the time is gonna take me, and maybe even the money, because I had to pay a copay. It was not 30 an hour. That's what you said to me, back to me. After I told you, it was 30 every time I go see him. Every time I went to go see this man, it was $30. That was the copay.
It was repeatedly.
Right.
I did go see him repeatedly. I'm not gonna say I didn't. I did that. But and we got a question from the audience. But what I was gonna say was that
Get you the second.
I realized
Finish up.
that doing that for myself would make it easier for me to do everything else that I was trying to do. Because in the moment, I was faced with pushing my mind as far as it could go, to the outer limits of where it could go,
It was
in order to
selfish
achieve
thing.
what I needed to achieve at
It
the
was a
moment.
selfish
When
thing.
it is required of you that
Right.
your mind, the vessel that is the processing, the central processing unit for your entire being, you know what I'm saying, has the highest amount of RAM. That's motherfucking rapid access memory. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For human beings, it's like the operating speed, like the fastest you can go in order to achieve. Just achieve. We ain't even talking about excelling at achieving. We're just saying just to get over the threshold of failing or succeeding, you gotta be at not just the most optimal processing speed, but the most optimal performance based on comparisons of other motherfuckers.
You gotta be at an obsolete position already.
Right.
Like, and so that exposes any and everything that limits that. And so my perspective was, if it'll make it easier, this is what the fuck I'm gonna do. Because easier for me right now translates into dollars and cents. I need to make as much fucking money, and I hate to be that way. It ain't never been that way in my life as in regards to a profession or the professional endeavors that I track down. But today, I'm saying unequivocally, it's all about the bag. I'm not even moving. I'm not even moving unless it's about the bag. So, so if getting the bag means I got to get the inner workings of my mind in tip-top shape, I'm finna go for what's gonna make that the easiest and the quickest and the most efficient. And sometimes you need to know exactly how you should attack the demons or the obstacles or the hurdles that come in your life, even if it is nothing more than how high or short the hurdle is. And that's all I'm saying.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Lady. You had something you wanted to say.
The
I
topic
apologize.
that you chose tonight about mental health is, I don't know, is this a teaching moment or are we talking to actual people with mental health issues?
Well, actually, ma'am, you right here now. I'm glad that you asked that question. Right now, you sit here talking with individuals who have been through some situations in their life, and then when you look from another view at what they have been through and what they're going through, we can classify this as, you know what I'm saying, from their reactions and from what they speak and how they feel about a situation. We'll call it mental health, because the average individual wouldn't probably speak like this or say these type of things. But this is the type of conversation that we need to have in the Black community to be able to get the understanding with one another, so we can be able to be on one accord, knowing that a person feel a certain way.
Okay.
A person look at something in a different form. You know what I'm saying? Like what this brother Traffic was saying, and like this brother James was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, now on this side, person might not feel like James. If James said he's gonna do this, if it take this to do this, even dealing with this, even dealing with pushing my mind to the next level, even going through these courses, or dealing with whatever the case may be, a chip or the vaccine, he's not nothing take control of his mind, but he willing to do these things. This brother here say, I ain't willing to do it. I don't have a mental health problem. I think we can handle that as on our own. I want to know who gave them the answer to give to me, because they sure didn't come tell me that God told them. So now we will look and say, this brother got a mental health problem. He don't understand what's wrong with it. He don't know. And then we listen to his story and all the things he been through and where he at and how he had to get there. We say, shh. You don't think you got a mental health problem? You suddenly explode at any time. With the type of hurt and pain dealing with love and what you believe in, people you thought and none of it came to pass. So he had the mind concept, like he told this brother here, people let you down because he been through that. But going through that make him feel the way he feel, it'd be like, he got a mental health problem. So we have to have these conversations to be able to see where one another at, to be able to get it, understand one another. Because we all could build something. You know what I'm saying? We all could become stronger together. You know, I mean, I'm not telling nobody don't, you know, go ahead, man.
I just got a comment. I do agree with that. Family is not. They know they got a crazy ass brother or cousin, but they're not letting people know. Hey, my brother's crazy for real, and know he's with X, Y, and Z, and what I'm saying. And then they go on to make a family, and this mental person is now raising a child that could be mental. So I understand addressing the mental part of the game.
Right, right. But I can understand that. But the thing is this here. Once you know that person, what people outside will see with mental will change that to be known.
So do you agree with therapy or not?
Who I
Yes, the host. Because you got a panel. One is
I'm not me personally.
No, do you agree with therapy or not? I mean,
I'm gonna tell you who my therapist. Yeah,
No.
excuse me.
I gotta say, well, I'll wait because
No,
the last thing I'll say is in closing. I do. Go ahead. Let them talk.
Look. First you say,
hold on. Let me just say this. She asked me the question, then we finna let y'all.
let them close us out.
Do you
Let
agree
y'all-
or do you not agree?
Right, come on.
Look at you.
I just
Hey,
acquiring
Okay,
minds won't
listen.
sit up.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't really believe in therapy. I mean, I believe in the higher power. I mean, I have been through some things I can say to myself sometimes. Like, I have been in situations where I be like, so much on my mind, I'm looking for my phone. My phone in my hand, I'm steady walking around looking for the phone. I said, boy, so much on my mind, I'm going crazy. But if anything take place in my life, if I feel any type of way abnormal, I'm calling on the higher power. I mean, that's just been what's working for me. I'm not gonna tell no one not to go to therapy, but me, I'm not going to therapy. My therapy is the higher power. Now, if you need to go to therapy, you choose to go to therapy, then you go to therapy. If therapy works for you and therapy helps you, then may the higher power bless you. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna tell you to go to therapy, but some people can't. I know people for sure, strong men, like one of my brothers, you know what I'm saying, from Southwest. He was a stand-up guy. He never really went to therapy though, but I literally seen him lose his mind. And I'm like, dang, this dude wasn't even like this when I first met him. But he don't go to therapy, he think he normal. But you're not normal, bro. But the end that, and pass the mic, me personally, SJ, I don't believe in therapy. I believe in the higher power. But I'm not going to tell anyone not to go to therapy because what works for you works for you. What works for me works for me.
Thank
If the higher power tell me, Jay, go to therapy, then I'm going to get up and go to therapy. But what the higher power tell me, get up and do a better job.
okay.
Let them go ahead and say what they say.
Jake, he's gonna close us out.
Okay, close.
So, well, this is all I'm gonna say. If you wanna push your brain to the limit, but with the argument you doing you doing the opposite. You putting a limit on your mind because once you sit out here and you're in the car. Now you drive. So now where you going on this road is up to you. Now once you give somebody else the keys for a minute, you might have been detoured off of the end of your journey. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because it's just like the hospital. You're a patient. To them, you're a patient because a doctor gives his educated opinion or analysis on what the fuck my bad, on what's wrong with you
Right.
at the time. And the only way they do that is by asking you these questions. So they take all the answers to the questions that you gave them, and then they remember what they read in their one book, and they put all that together like, oh, you know what? Shit, it sounds like you got a Cosmo, whatever, anything, and then it's like, you know what I'm saying? Now you thinking in your head like, oh, it got this, you know what I'm saying? Now your mind, they got your mind thinking that you sick, and your body ain't telling you sick. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like what's going on? Like, so I feel like the mind is the most powerful thing that you can have. Like your mind can trick you. Like, okay, my son, he 15 now. He was born at 4 months, so he was a miracle baby. You know what I'm saying? So okay, so he was getting bad grades in school because he couldn't see. I talk to him, and so we tried to. He went to the doctor about it or whatever. Now his mind was telling him that was not getting the commands to his left eye. Okay, so now the doctors can't give you no medicine for this or nothing. They can do a tactic that he could have figured out on his own, because the tactic was they put a patch over his good eye.
Right.
So his right eye.
Right. You become stronger.
Gotta come
Because
strong.
you gotta utilize it.
And how it's gonna do that? Because your mind gonna make it happen.
Right.
Not no pill, not talking to nobody. Some stuff that you can do. You see what I'm saying? That only you can do. So anytime somebody else is tampering with everything in her that they don't feel, they don't touch, they can't sense, or nothing like that, it's considered as an experiment. You're a lab rat right there. I don't take medicine or anything because these medicines gonna stop this, but then now they gonna find out that this got this in it, your body can't take it. Well, it might be too late now. You know what I'm saying?
That's a cold piece of game
some
right
real
there.
stuff, man.
Yeah, that's real there. If we get ready to wrap it up, we're gonna let my brother right here, King James II, close it out.
All I'm really saying is that nothing and nobody tonight on this particular panel has said has been untrue. But that from the perspective of somebody who battles and deals with mental health issues on a regular basis, I know for a fact that everything that you talking about don't necessarily fit into the same size box.
No cookie cutter answers.
When you say, okay, I'm gonna just handle all this shit on my own, or I could have put the patch on or whatever, you gotta know what's wrong. And we are not always the most qualified to give that answer about certain particular things, whatever they may be.
Says who?
Says facts. Like, no person is, you're not the expert on everything. If you were, you'd be God, and if you was that God, that particular version of God, you'd be dead. We all gods. But that particular version of God is what we aspire to be. That's what you live your life to get to. That ain't a here and now. Perfection is later. Here and now is imperfection, massive imperfection. So we not perfect. And we do have vulnerabilities. And we do have holes in our armor that a motherfucker could attack and get at us with. So it's imperative that you be able to address those and call them demons by their name if you're going to exercise them. You know what I'm saying? We're not always the expert on what those names are, so we get them. And this the real part about everything that I want to say was that it's unfortunate and it's cliche-ish, but it's facts, 100% facts. The vast majority of the questions you get asked about why black people is the way they is a one-word answer. Slavery. When you talk about black folks in America. And so even with the conversation around therapy or dealing with mental health issues, we automatically, whether or not we can visualize it or whether or not we do visualize it or not, equate that to whiteness to a certain degree. It's going to be a white doctor, white therapist, white this, white that. I would never, and I have never gone to speak to a white person about anything. And that's not about white people in general. That's about my people in general. And my need to be face to face with somebody that look like me, because I do get the best therapy from talking to my cousin, from talking to my people. And
For free.
For free. And that is why when I go see, if I'm seeking a professional, I'm seeking a black professional. I'm seeking somebody that look like me, because I know that they gonna know some of the things that I don't have to say. That if you walk into a room with a black person, they feel certain things that you feel automatically because we are black. Nothing else even gotta matter.
Right.
And so it is like I'm talking to my cousin, but just like you didn't go to Curtis and say, draw up a contract for me. I'm in law school. I've been dealing with this kind of stuff for the vast majority of our lives. You know how my mind works. So you came to me for that. The same way, if I was a therapist in the family, somebody gonna come to me about that. It may not be you. You might be saying no, but they gonna come to me first. And that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not going to outside of this thing of ours. Like I'm going to black people, talking to black people just as if I was talking to you. This is a more qualified cousin for the specific thing that I need to discuss today.
Okay.
And that's what I'm on. Because that's necessary.
Okay.
It's necessary.
Go ahead,
I
Miss
was
Lady.
just gonna say,
Before we wrap it up.
even when you go to family members, therapists, whatever, it still is a choice. And I'm gonna just for myself, because I do some therapy, I'm gonna make a choice whether I want to accept their therapeutic advice or not. It's gonna be a choice whether I accept that friend's advice or not, because I still have a problem with thinking people know more than I do on the subject about me. So I'm still gonna make a choice. So at the end of the day, it's a choice.
Basically, go back to what you said before we wrap it up. What this brother was saying earlier is about, regardless of what I go through, deal with a therapist or not, chip, vaccine, whatever the case may be, I'm not gonna let nothing take control of my mind. So that means that his mind is strong. And this brother was saying the same thing on his level of what he's saying. It's still dealing with your mind. And I want y'all to know your mind is very, very important. May the high power bless you. Peace. And I appreciate you brothers chopping heavy tonight, man. Hey, we had to get this.